As an aspiring finance major, are you committed to your own success? We at the School of Business are committed to yours. Hi, my name is Phil Cote. I'm a prof in the Department of Finance, and I'm here today to discuss data science and finance, more specifically, why it should matter to you. So the overview of our short discussion will cover first the why. Why is data science more and more important in terms of skill set in finance? The what, so what does it do for you? And the how, so once you've expressed a desire or interest in learning, how do you go about signing up and starting your learning journey? First and foremost, let's establish some market context. With the world we live in today, the importance of being able to leverage the information that is accessible in the business is a source of competitive advantage, and more often than not, the main differentiator between the top players and the second tier in almost any industries today. So better analytics leads to a leading edge in terms of business competition. Now let's talk about the structure of what's changed in the past few decades. Number one, in terms of data management, there's been an exponential increase in terms of the quantity of data, so the volume of data that we have access to. Also, the frequency at which this data is either updated or new data comes in has also gone up. So we went from, you can take up daily data to now like tick by tick or trade by trade data in the world of finance. And also, more importantly, the type of data that we have access to. So if you think about structured data being database type of data or Excel files type of data, and unstructured being, for example, tweets or social media discussions on specific companies. So if you think about the balance of structured versus unstructured, the numbers that are being assessed in terms of research range for probably about 90% plus of the information that we have today is in unstructured form. So you need better tools in order to be able to leverage and access that information, and that's what data science tools will give you. The second piece is in terms of data analytics and exploration. So two main aspects there in terms of approach. We think about a user push world versus user pull world. User push would be, if you think of it very simply, as you receiving an email from your manager or your leader or a coworker asking for information. So you like prepare an Excel file, create a PowerPoint, and send it back to users for discussion. So that'd be an example of a user push world. More and more, you've got data management or analytics being embedded in decision making and supporting effectively better business decisions. So if you think about an example of user pull, in the same example you had for user push, what if you had designed this as an app that can be delivered through intranet that self-update? So now you have users pulling the data themselves, so i.e. going straight into the information, looking at it, and every subsequent conversations pertain on, hey, I've noticed this change, what's driving this? So now you have much better quality conversations and much less time spent on actually manipulating data. Now I'll be honest with you, from the world of finance, if you work in trading or risk management, if you're not, I would say, very well versed with data, you might spend up to 80% of your time manipulating data to do analysis to support your hypothesis or your decisions. So the more advanced you are in terms of data management, the more and more you can actually use an increasing percentage of your time. So switch from 80% data manipulation, 20% thinking, to the other way around. And that comes at a small cost of learning a data science tool. The second piece that's changed a lot in terms of data analytics and exploration is a few decades ago, I remember when I started my career in 1992, we were as smart as we are today, or probably less smart, who knows. But the one thing we did is we were conditioned to look at data, look at markets, and form a hypothesis around what might be occurring or not. And from there, go on and use models and test it. Nowadays, with data science tools and data exploration, we can actually shift that 180 degrees by thinking about exploring first, what does the data tell us? Does what the data tell us support what we think? Or more importantly, is there something in what the data tells us that we haven't considered that be worth exploring instead? So we have access to tools now to where the data can actually tell us a little bit more about what's occurring before going into testing a specific hypothesis. So think about the funnel of business problems and opportunities, it allows you to sift through it much more faster. And finally, data visualization. So at the end of the day, the purpose of using data in business is to support business decisions. So whether you're taking risk, deciding to deal with allocate capital in a certain way, deciding to focus on specific customers. So the world of visualization is extremely important. The only thing I would say, there are plentiful of examples on the internet and in my classes. I just want to leave you with one thought on that topic. If you think about the source of the type of visualization you use today, where does it come from? The reality is that we've all grown up in the world of Microsoft products. So the types of charts that we can use are basically, the universe is limited to what's available in Excel. Once you move to a world of data science, you have access to a much wider universe of visualization, including interactivity, which is much more effective. Second thing on the why. So I want to start with this one because it's fairly important. I get this question a lot, both at school and the workplace. Why do that technical work if I want to be a leader? But I want to be a leader. I don't want to be somebody crunching numbers. Well, now here's why you should learn it. So there's a difference between awareness, or if you think about awareness of the tools of data science and finance, and mastery level of the tools. So we're not trying to suggest that we need to be a master at computer coders. That's not what it's about. But in order to be successful as a leader, you need to have a solid understanding of your market space. You also need to be able to design a data architecture that supports the understanding and the decisions that you need to make as a leader. So having some form of basic knowledge of data science tools helps you a lot. Now, one point on that note, you might think, well, that's the IT department that does it. It's not. The IT department is there to support your decision. You as a business leader is the one who is in charge of deciding the requirement. So what are you going to use it for? What do you need? So that's a very important skill set. In the world of so even if you have a generalist or into a role, the reality is that you're likely going to have to lead technical people, or people who are smarter than we are as leaders. And it's very important at the hiring process to understand, at least at a very basic level, what your team does. And that with that purpose, being able to hire the right talent. So once you have a job opening, do you understand how it fits strategically in your group, and are you able to describe the skill set that are required to complement and hire that specific person? Secondly, as I mentioned, you're likely to lead a team of specialists at some point in time in your career, and you need to be credible to do that. So credibility impacts a lot your ability to for talent retention in your team, and your ability to be able to develop talent. And finally, understanding your business, understanding the data architecture, and understanding finance is what leads to decision quality and decision making. So that's the end goal of it. The end goal has to do with the business decision, and you as a leader have to design a decision quality framework to get there. So my advice to you at this point in time is that given where you are and you have the potential to access some of that knowledge, is start your career with a compelling offer. You're likely to compete with people who have those skills if you want to apply for jobs at leading organizations. So start on the right footing, and we're here to support you. Now, the what? It's about finance. It's not about coding. Let me be clear on that. We're not computer science courses. Neither do we want to. It's about being able to apply to finance using the tools that are relevant for the scale at which we operate, and that's enterprise scale. So data science for us is a mean to an end. It provides the tools to be able to apply finance at a large scale in the world that you actually live in, depending on the industry that you're in. So if I'm looking at 4 points around this area, first you need to understand your business. If you understand your business, you're able to identify opportunities, or a problem to solve. So when we apply data science, we apply it from the perspective of a specific problem we're trying to solve. We use then next our finance competencies to frame the problem. How do we want to approach it from a finance perspective? Then you need to have competitive skills in order to be able to apply it to enterprise scales. You're very likely to have to deal with large data sets in order to do so, and you cannot do that with an existing suite of tools like Microsoft Excel. You need to access tools like R or Python or MATLAB. And finally, success in applied data science and finance literally means that the ability, once we've identified a problem to solve, you frame the problem, and you know the data set that you have access to be able to iterate what is the best model or best tool to use in order to deliver that problem. So that's very different from where a data scientist might start in terms of, well, let's say I know a neural network model, how can I look for ways to apply it? It's the reverse that we do with business specialists first, and we use those tools as a mean to perform in our delivery of our professional skills. Now, how? So having established what it is and why it's important, what's required to get started. So we have 2 courses that are being offered currently in the Department of Finance. In terms of aptitude, the requirements are 301, 412, 413. You don't need to have programming experience before getting to the classes. The classes are designed to take you from a beginner's level onward. The only thing that's required is a drive to succeed and commitment to your own success. Now, the 2 courses that are available, the first one, Applied Data Science in Commodities and Finance, covers a wide range, ranging from getting started with the tools to applying a lot of finance statistical techniques, to towards the end, natural language processing, again for the purpose of solving a finance problem. The second class, Commodities Analytics and Trading, is a deeper dive into the world of trading analytics. So trading analytics is defined as data science-based analytics with the purpose of decision making in a trading world. So to conclude, start your learning journey and sign up. We're committed to your success, and I hope to see you in our courses. Thank you. Bye.